Ariana Grande is officially divorced. Grande and ex-husband Dalton Gomez's settlement agreement took effect Tuesday after hitting 6 months from the initial divorce filing. The pop star initiated the divorce proceedings on September 18. The couple had signed a prenuptial agreement, and there were no legal disputes to deal with over the past 6 months. Grande and Gomez filed their settlement agreement with the court in October. But it did not go into effect until Tuesday due to California law. Under the agreement, Grande will make a one-time payment of $1,250,000 to her real estate broker ex with no future alimony. Give him half of the proceeds of the sale of their Los Angeles home, and she will pay up to $25,000 toward his attorney's fees. Gomez and Grande began their relationship in early 2020 and married in a small ceremony at the Thank You Next singer's Montecito home in 2021. Shortly after filing for divorce in 2023, rumors surfaced that Grande was in a relationship with her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater. The actor is known for his starring role in SpongeBob SquarePants, the Broadway musical. While the two were spotted together, fans began speculating that Grande and Slater had gotten together while they were still with their respective partners. Slater had been married to Lily J and filed for divorce in July 2023. Grande attended Slater's premiere of Broadway's Spamalot at the St. James Theatre in New York City on November 15. They love to support each other in their work, a source told People magazine. When she's done with work, Ariana loves going to the theater when she can. The side-to-side singer and Slater have become serious in their romance. Ariana is serious with Ethan. The insider added. She loves being with him. Grande herself has been hard at work. The 30-year-old musician released her 7th studio album, Eternal Sunshine, on March 8. Fans have tried to assign songs to people, including The Boy Is Mine as a song about Slater. Grande took to Instagram shortly after the release of the album to ask fans not to send hate to people in her circle. I just wanted to say anyone that is sending hateful messages to the people in my life based on your interpretation of this album is not supporting me and is absolutely doing the polar opposite of what I would ever encourage and is also entirely misinterpreting the intention behind the music. I ask that you please do not. It is not how to support me. It is the opposite, Grande wrote. Although this album captures a lot of painful moments, it also is woven together with a through-sick line of deep, sincere love. If you cannot hear that, please listen more closely, she added. Ryan Coogler's multimedia company Proximity Media is boarding Universal's Prince Jukebox musical. According to Deadline, Proximity Media's Ryan Coogler, Zinzi Coogler, and Seva Hamian will produce, and Rebecca Cho will executive produce through Proximity. Also on the producing team is Chairman and CEO of Universal Music Publishing Group Jody Gerson. Brian Edward Hill, who was a writer on the series Titans, and has written comic books for DC Comics, Marvel, and Top Cow, including Blade, Batman, and Black Panther, wrote a previous draft of the film. Proximity is a multimedia company founded by Ryan Coogler, Zinzi Coogler and Seva Hamian, and co-founded by Ludwig Göransson, Archie Davis and Peter Nix with a mission to create event-driven feature films, television, soundtracks, and podcasts that bring audiences closer together through stories involving often overlooked subject matters. Proximity's films include an untitled event film at Warner Brothers starring Michael B. Jordan, which will be released on IMAX in 2025. Other credits include Judas and the Black Messiah and Space Jam, A New Legacy, Home Run with Hulu, Stephen Curry, Underrated, Anthem, and last year's Creed 3, which grossed over $276 million worldwide. Drake Bell has spoken out in his first interview since the release of ID's scandalous Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Speaking on the Sarah Fraser Show podcast, Bell said he hasn't been impressed with Nickelodeon's response to the documentary, which details his sexual abuse as a teen by Amanda Show dialogue coach Brian Peck. There's a very well-tailored response saying, learning about his trauma, because they couldn't say that they didn't know about this or what had happened, or anything, he said. So I think that was a really well-tailored response by probably some big attorney in Hollywood. He added, I find it pretty empty, their responses, because, I mean, they still show our shows. They still put our shows on, he continued. And I have to pay for my own therapy, I have to figure out what, I mean if there was anything, if there was any truth behind them actually caring. There would be something more than quotes on a page by obviously a legal representative telling them exactly how to tailor a response. Bell said he participated in the documentary because of a comfort level with the producers. He added that he declined a previous documentary project from a different group, and was astonished when they lashed out at him. Another documentary requested my involvement. And when I declined, the response I got was unbelievable, he said. In the email, they said that people like me were the problem, and this is why things aren't gonna change in the industry because people like you won't speak out and won't come forward. It was just all this shaming of me not wanting to be a part of their documentary. So I've always been cautious and on edge whenever approached to talk about such a sensitive topic. Bell went to rehab shortly after meeting with the Quiet on Set producers. I just felt really comfortable in that interview, but I was going through so much in my personal life, and after that interview I ended up checking myself into rehab. He said. We were going through a lot of trauma therapy, a lot of group therapy, a lot of one-on-one therapy. Your entire day was filled with working through and processing this with a clear mind. And unearthing all of these things that I hadn't faced head-on, or if I had tried to, it was too painful. And so through that process, once I got out, I thought to myself, maybe this is a good time to reach back out to them and say, hey, I'm not 100% yet, let's talk some more, but I'm getting closer to feeling comfortable with finally sharing my story. Bell also talked about involving his father in the documentary. My dad is a very emotional guy, and he has such a big heart. And I was very cautious about involving him, Bell said. He decided to include him, believing that maybe it would be cathartic and beneficial for my dad to be able to do the doc as well. I'm sure that my dad puts a lot of blame on himself, you know? And I thought that this might be an opportunity for him to realize that, you know, that it's one person's fault. Following the release of Quiet on Set, Nickelodeon issued the following statement. Now that Drake Bell has disclosed his identity as the plaintiff in the 2004 case, we are dismayed and saddened to learn of the trauma he has endured. And we commend and support the strength required to come forward. That statement adds to a Nickelodeon statement that ended every episode of Quiet on Set, in response to producers' questions. Nickelodeon has stated it investigates all formal complaints as part of our commitment to fostering a safe and professional workplace. We have adopted numerous safeguards over the years to help ensure we are living up to our own high standards and the expectations of our audience.